Hello, welcome to the first edition of AYTF podcast, where we will be digesting activities of Adamu Yola Foundation. But today we'll be talking about the activities of the Adamu Yola Gombe South football competition. And my co-host today is Ahmed. Ahmed, you're welcome. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you very much, Marcus. It's nice to be here.
Right, with us as well is Emmanuel. Emmanuel has been playing in this competition for quite a very long time. Emmanuel, thank you very much for joining us. Alright, guys, it has been a very long way coming, and we have witnessed the growth of Adamu Yola football competition. And Ahmed, since when have you started following this competition?
I think I started following Adamu Yola competition when Promise took over as
Chairman, local organizing committee.
I think the year he came in as where they had that draws and all of that. That was when I started following. Looking at the fact that we were not used to something of that nature being done in local competition. So seeing that, that massive, that input, it's kind of attracted a lot of people, and of course I was included in that place. And since then, I've been following it year in, year out. So it's been a long while, and we are still going.
Yeah, for Emmanuel, I know he has been a player who has been participating in the competition for some time now. Ima, can you remember when first you played in the competition and the club you played for?
Yeah, definitely. I think I played first. My first edition playing in that edition was the fourth edition.
And that was in 2019?
Yeah, 2019. That was the first time. And I played for Barcelona.
Yeah, in Kaltungo, yes.
That was my first team. And it was a nice experience. We did well, and I think we were kicked out at the round of 16.
Round of 16, yeah.
Yes.
So your participation in the competition, how can you describe the entire competition, whereby teams from the 4 local governments of Gombe South come together to participate, whereby almost every year we see expansion and a kind of improvement on the organization. How do you see these teams that are participating? Do you think they are benefiting from the competition?
Of course, from the feedbacks you get and the engagement of more teams and more stakeholders in the competition, that should tell you how much of an impact it is making in the community where it is being held. So you can see a lot of teams struggling and doing all their best to make sure they make the registration to be part of the tournament. You can see a lot of stakeholders coming to participate. You can see more so a lot of fans missing and leaving out their activities, in quotes, their activities, and just to come and have a feel of the game. It tells you how much it is. It's one of the most beautiful things that you would find happening in that region towards the ending of the year. I see people, players, spectators, looking forward towards the competition. Yeah. So I feel it's something that is doing a lot to that region.
How many teams have you played for in this competition now?
I have played for 3 teams.
Okay,
yes. As far as I can remember, I have played for Barcelona. I played for.
So when you call the Barcelona, put Kaltungo in front,
okay,
so that
yes.
so that people will know you're playing for the Barcelona in Spain.
I've played for Barcelona in Kaltungo. I've played for Oscar. I've played for Aston Villa,
Kaltungo as well.
Kaltungo as well. So all of these things are things that I've played actively for, and the records are there.
Okay. Now, looking at your participation in this competition, 3 teams. Are you playing? What was the last team that you played for?
The last team I played for is Oscar.
Oscar in the last edition. Are you still going to play for Oscar, or we should wait for another change of team?
Okay.
Because
for
you
now,
played for 3 in 4 years. Yes, you have played for 3 teams.
Yes. So for now, something is in the pipeline.
Okay.
So we should wait for my agent to.
Possibly, we are talking about agent. He is talking about agent here.
Yes.
So possibly we might see an announcement.
You may see a transfer.
Okay.
Possibly, depending on how the outcome is. So let's just keep our tabs on check.
Okay.
I wanted to ask him, okay, as looking at the fact that you've played like for a number of years in this competition, and as somebody that mingles with other players, how do you think, or how do you feel like other players feel about this particular competition? Are they really eager and wanting to play in this competition?
Yeah.
Or is it just a normal tournament for them? When it comes, it comes, and when it doesn't come, they don't.
Like maybe your teammates asking you, how far, when is it starting?
Do you want me to spill the milk?
Spill it!
You want me to spill the milk?
Simple as that.
Okay. Currently, I know of teams that have started preparing for this tournament. Wow. 2-3 months ago.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
I know of teams that have started scouting for players 2-3 months ago. I know of teams that have called me before now, some months ago and the weeks before, talking about possibilities of me being a part of their team. So you can see it's not just about me. This is happening all around for different other persons that are players in the team. They are being called, player selections and all of that is really going on. And I know teams that are already preparing their financial aspect of the registration, preparing for...
What do you guys make of the registration fee? Like 5,000 naira every year? Just 5,000 naira?
Since the inception, and there is no increment, and...
Just 5,000 naira?
Just 5,000 naira. What if
for
this
me,
edition now there is now an increment? Do you think there will be complaints from teams?
For me personally, I think the registration fee, 5,000 naira, is just to show a form of commitment from the club, because I know for sure what the teams get is not even up to. I mean, what the teams get is more than that 5,000 naira they contribute. Because you don't get to pay for anything, you just go. And I think the last one that was held, every team that registered had a gift. I cannot remember what it was.
Since the 4th edition or 5th edition, any team that qualifies for the final round get 20,000 naira.
You can see. This is something you registered.
If you qualifies for the final round, that's round of 16, you get 20,000 naira from the local organizing committee, from the foundation. And from the foundation, from that round, you keep getting some amounts. As you progress, you continue to get. So I think teams doesn't have any reason to complain about the amounts they pay for registration.
Yes.
Yeah, and I very much envy Ima being part of the competition, playing in front of that crowd at some point. You know, I nearly participated in the competition, but because I decided to retire from active football. But I decided to retire from active football.
Looking at the fact that, okay, you haven't gone that, professional, because I had a conversation this morning with the chairman of the local organizing committee, and he said that any player that has turned into a professional, as far as you have gone professional, then you are no longer needed in the Adamu Yola Gombe. So now, looking at the fact that you've not gone professional, that's professional. Then looking at the crowd that come to watch that tournament, like depending on the stage that the competition is, but looking at the crowd that turn out to watch that tournament, do you think it gives you more confidence? That
like when you step on,
do you understand when you step on to play, that you feel that like at any level I can make this happen and I can play anywhere?
Absolutely, like being a participant of that Adamu Yola competition brings a lot of pleasure and passion to it, because when you step in, you see the crowds, cheering the teams of their choices, and trying to make sure they cheer you to success and victory and all of that. So for me, I've played on different other stages within my level, you understand, and I've played where I've met similar crowd, so it's not a thing of tension or fear for me, you understand. But the crowd in Kaltungo, you can imagine crowd that don't even know you, they haven't even seen you before, you understand.
Cheering you.
They cheer you up irrespective of your team and all of that. So anytime there is a match,
they just want to see a good player.
Yes, they just want to see a good team. I remember we went there for a friendly match last week. It's not like when you go away, then you expect that the away team will be booing you. No, that tournament, friendly match we played, they were cheering us because we were playing good football. Wow. There was this tiki-taka football we were playing that they enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, we went very late, so there was no much time for us to play out the normal 45. we were going out and they were like, guys, you guys played football, but you didn't come early. You guys did not allow us to enjoy
the game. Yeah.
And you know they pay for these gate fees.
Yeah.
That we didn't allow them to enjoy their money. We were like, okay, sorry, next time we'll make it earlier. That's because they enjoy their game. So fans are well behaved there. Fans are always very supportive, and of course, if you are not used to big games, you will be frightened. You know, the crowd would make you lose focus during the game.
Like
so
I was so much affected by the crowd last year when he played in that team actually.
Yeah, I know. He's always he's always shy of crowd. You understand?
When we went to play a novelty match, I had to be substituted even immediately after the first half. That another person had to come in. But then that's just by the way. Now going into this 8th edition of this competition. This is the 8th edition. That means this competition has been happening for the past 8 years. That means people have benefited from it in one way or the other. Now, guys, I know it's not just about playing football on the pitch. The organizers must have thought about maybe something they want to achieve, because it is called Adamu Yola Gombe South Unity Club. So unity comes into the picture. So when you talk about unity, I don't know if you guys have realized that there is so much unity that has been built between various communities because of this competition.
And then of course the local governments.
Yes, and the local governments around the region. And then I was opportune to be part of the persons that went for inspection of some facilities this week, because we are checking on the facilities that will be hosting this competition across the various local governments. So people were very much eager to play in this competition. And then they were talking about, okay, this community doesn't want to play against this community because they were having all this communal clash. And then the chairman said, no, that is what we want. Because you're having a clash with this person doesn't mean you're not going to play against each other. This competition is meant to unite the people in that community, in those communities. So if you feel you have grievances against this person, this is a perfect time for us to solve this. So imagine if there was, the chairman had a plan because it couldn't materialize for World Peace Day, that, okay, we had communities that were having issues with each other, and he said, we are going to select a team, one team, from these two communities. These two communities will form one team. And imagine me and Ima having issues because we are from different ethnic group or from different communities, and then we enter the same bus, going to play a match. And you know what it means when you're with your teammate. Even you have grievances off the pitch, when you step on the pitch, then he's my person.
Will become one.
Even if you're playing against your brother on the pitch, that person whom you're having issues off the pitch is your brother now. He turns to your brother. Though that means you're going to be against that person. So that is what Adamu Yola is trying to do. Uniting the people around that region, and then making them understand that there is that unity in football. When we come together, we can fight any enemy that want to come against us.
Now, in the last 8 years, Emmanuel, do you think this aim has been achieved by the local organizing committee? Because I remember previously the game was only played in only 2 centers, if I'm not mistaken, Tungo and Shongo. But later they brought in Piliri. Now they are looking to, take.
Balanga participated in the last 2 years.
Balanga also participated. Now, do you think this has, bridged that gap between these communities, that we can now say that to some point these communities are now united?
Absolutely, yes. My answer is yes to that question, because I do not want to mention communities that have had issues. You understand? But I, for one, have been an eyewitness to where these two communities that have had issues played against each other, and it was a match that ended without chaos, without any fight, without any insult, without anything. And these teams, they now even mingle among themselves. You understand? They interplay friendly matches among themselves. So I think to a very, very large extent, the aim is being achieved. I'm using the word is being achieved because it's a continuous process. You understand? Yes, it's a continuous process, and if this goes on, probably in the next 1 to 2 years, you will see that there is nothing like all these communal
Clashes.
clashes and all of that in that region. So maybe we will now have to focus on something else besides unity, because when a group of people are united already, so I think you shift your attention to something else.
That means you can start talking about developing those regions when there is peace and everybody is united.
You try to build the bridges that has been burnt, that has been brought down. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's my take on that.
Okay, looking at the fact that this local organizing committee, like Mark said, in the beginning, there have been series of upgrades year in, year out. How can, on a scale of 1 to 10, let me use the last edition, the 7th edition, which you played in. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade the local organizing committee? Ranging from, most importantly, ranging from officiating, because that's the most important part of football.
Yes.
Ranging from officiating, organization of these teams, and their response when there is a chaos, or probably when a team defaults or commits an offense, how they respond to those teams, and the possible sanctions they have slated out to be, for those teams that offend. How do you think? How can you rate them on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mr. Ahmad, this is a very good question, and I'm being very careful not to do this rating.
Yes.
Why? Because if I do this rating, Adamu Yola may just hold the standard there. You understand? So, but I really want them to keep doing better and better. You understand?
Yeah. Something good need to be sustained.
Yes.
Because there is for
sustainability, and you have to add up to what you're doing. No matter how good it is, just keep adding up. Just keep upgrading. You understand? So honestly, I'll tell you, from 2019, where I played my first edition, you understand, a lot of changes has happened. A lot of growth, a lot of development. I think 2019, there was no board for advertisement around the stadium.
Yeah,
that is a development. That is a very huge, massive development. Yeah. The last edition, looking around, it was like I was playing Nigerian Premier League. Looking around and you're seeing these boards around advert, and it gives a great feeling. You understand? And being it that it's around just a local government, not the entire state. This is not the Nigerian Premier League, but you're having that feel. You understand?
That you're playing a football that people are enjoying.
And there's this, publicity. It makes a lot of sense. And then talking about the officiating, it has changed. I think that aspect has grown tremendously, because from 2019 to now, I have seen a lot of changes. I've seen situations where the LOC are not taking any form of complacency from these match officials. You understand? From 2019, I can recall some errors that happened, and there was no, form of disciplinary actions taken against that. But this last edition has shown a lot of changes, my friend. But please, I don't want to do that rating. But Adamu Yola are doing wonderfully well. If I rate them, they may not add up.
They may just stop at that. Just stop at that.
So,
I do not want to upgrade.
So just take it that they are doing amazing things. Because I know very well that other local government would have wished to be part of it.
Now, that brings me to what I want to talk about. Now, this morning we had a conversation with the LOC chairman, like I said. There is a plan on ground to extend, or to, let me say, expand this competition beyond Gombe South, especially bringing it down to Gombe Central. But then, don't you think, if this competition is expanded, do you think it's going to reduce the level at which the organization of this competition is going? Because they will have a lot of teams, to attend to. They will have a lot on their plate, and it's going to bring down the performance of the LOC drastically. Or do you think otherwise?
Okay. It would be a welcome development to have it extended to other local governments. Yeah. You understand? But a lot has to be done. And there are different measures, different ways they can do that. When you say talking about having a lot of teams and all of that, they can do a form of draws, whereby they will pick just 3 out of these local governments. So they can throw it to the local government. Give
us 3 teams.
Give us 3 teams. not just give us, maybe play a form of preliminary matches.
Yeah.
You understand? Give us 3 teams. Then these ones do the same thing. But for me, not being biased, you understand? If this is going to be extended, I would wish that the Gombe South
side
of it is maintained.
Yeah, the Gombe South own.
Because there's this flair, there's this connection.
I'm telling you.
You understand? When you're playing the Gombe South region. And the fact that some of their rules allows you to bring, I think, a number of players from other regions to come and participate. So
I think just 2 or 3 or so per team.
Yeah, so I think it still allows other regions to be a part of it. But it will be a welcome development generally to have it extended. We would love to see that, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. You know, dealing with more number of teams, more different stakeholders, different characters, and all of that. A lot has to be done.
Now, Ahmed, let me just add to this. You know, before you can expand something like this, there are several factors you will have to consider. Number 1, the financing. Now, Adamu Yola still has its doors wide open when it comes to sponsorship, because it needs financing. Something like this, football is expensive now.
Very expensive.
Very expensive. So it needs financing. And one thing about football is branding. If you don't brand it, then your competition becomes just like a normal recreational activities you're doing behind your house with your children. But the moment there is branding and there is publicity, then that's what makes it more competitive. So for us to get that, you just have to get funding, and after getting that funding, people should understand that it's not just going to be business as usual. And I am very sure the local organizing committee is capable of handling the large number of teams that we'll have. But then, what about the finance? Because you will need financing. No matter how good you are, if there is no financing in what you're going to do, you need money to finance your dream, Ahmed.
Definitely, you need money to finance.
You need money to finance your dreams. So it's all about funding. When you get good funding, then running the activities becomes a little bit easier for you, no matter the number of teams. But one thing is, managing competition at a local level is sometimes very difficult than managing it at the top level.
Yeah.
Trust me. Sometimes I feel if you can bring those managing the Nigerian Premier League to come and manage at the
local league,
some of them will run away after a week.
That's just it.
That's just it.
Because the pressure that comes
with it
from this local crowd
is
not comparable to what you see like when
now,
you get an NPFL.
Now, imagine if you're playing for a Premier League club, now the NPFL sends a rule that, okay, we are going to operate based on these rules in a season. And you're very sure that, okay, these rules are being implemented by the new FIFA rules. You will adapt to it easily. But when you take that new rule to the
local
communities, Ahmed, he will tell you, no, we don't do that.
There will be a lot of controversy.
We were not doing that before. Why are you bringing it here?
Bringing it now? I would have loved to ask you that question, because applying the rules, or let me say, applying the laws of the game into a local competition like this. For instance, when you talk about this offside issue, there was one particular scenario I saw. I think it was in last 2 years edition, 2021 edition. The referee was saying it was an offside and the linesman flag was down. And the ball was caught, it was a goal, and the linesman ran back to the center line. But the referee kept his hands up and was saying for an offside. Now, it's created a lot of rancor. That's why I will still give it up to the local organizing committee chair. Looking at the fact that he is a CAF licensed instructor, he had to call the attention of both officials. I don't know what he told them, but they came to a conclusion, and the goal was disallowed because the center referee has already said it was an offside. Now, what I'm driving at is this: how do the players, local players like that, tend to adapt to the new laws of the game when it's being applied in such a local competition? Because we know that the FIFA rules change year in, season in season. So when they change and they bring these changes down to the grassroots, how do you feel as a player, especially when you don't even know about them before?
Okay, so I think the best way around this is, of course, you know the kind of people you're dealing with. There are people who with all due respect, have no much knowledge about the present or the most
Updated
recent
rules.
rules, of the game. So I think the best thing is, before the tournament starts, there should be a kind of publicity or a creation of awareness, to these teams. Maybe if you can give them an upgraded document regarding the rules and regulation of the game. You understand? Each applying team, or it could be on the website of
FIFA.
Oh.
FIBA, sorry.
Oh,
no,
either-
not
yeah.
FIBA. IFAB.
Yeah, IFAB, you understand?
International Federation
yes.
of whatsoever.
So
you want
once
to
you
call
have the rules there, you can always refer them. If you don't have, just put a link, maybe on their registration portal and what have you, for updated rules. Just make sure you visit these rules, so that during this tournament, we don't tell you this is this and you argue with us. These are the updated rules. And I believe every tournament has its own rules. You understand? So before the tournament starts, create this awareness among these teams, letting them know what are the new rules that they should be looking out for. So it does not create any kind of conflict during the tournament.
Now,
That's what
I want to look at it this way. Most of these teams watches football. Most of the players, as well as teams officials, they watch football, right? And though some of us only go out to watch football because we are supporting one team or the other, you understand? And
Not
sometimes
because
we
we want to concentrate
yeah,
on the
not
laws.
because not minding the kind of rules that are being applied.
Yeah.
But then it will be very good. Let me just advise teams. You guys can go out there. You can get these rules online. You can just Google IFAB rules, these updated rules. But the interpretation of the law is basically done by match officials. So you should get yourself updated with these rules. When you know these rules, it becomes easier for you to accept decisions of match officials, so that it doesn't create problems for you. So if you get updated, then you get to tell your teammates, you get to tell your players. That is number one thing that teams should do to their players. The competition or the local organizing committee may not have an opportunity to tell the teams this is the new updated rules, but the teams are responsible for telling their players that these are the new rules that have been updated based on the FIFA rules. So you guys should know this, you guys have to know this. All right, guys, thank you. Let's go and take a short break. We'll be back. Thank you very much for staying with us. In case you're just tuning in, this is AYTF podcast, the first edition, whereby we'll be talking about the activities involved in the Adamu Yola Gombe South Unity Football Competition. And I have with me Emmanuel as well as Ahmad, and we'll be talking more about it, as well as Ima's participation in the competition, where he has played for 3 different clubs in the last 4 years. Now, Emmanuel, I will still go back to you. You played for 3 clubs already, and then you've had experiences from these 3 clubs, different managers, different teammates, or have you been moving with the teammates, with the teammates to different clubs?
I think all of my moves have been an individual move.
Individual moves.
Yes. I've always moved to a team where I'm a new person and I don't have my
Old
old teammates coming to join me. So it's been a lone move actually.
Yeah, I'm really interested in knowing if he's going to move to a new club or he's going to stay in the other he played last season. I would be very much interested. Now, out of these 3 teams you've participated in, I know perhaps you've had some good moments, perhaps you have had some challenging moments, and you've had some of your best moments maybe in some of the teams. Which of the teams gave you maybe a kind of opportunity to play some of your best moments in the competition?
I think the one before the last team I played, which is Aston Villa Kaltungo. Yeah, I think they gave me the best moment. I think with Aston Villa we go to
quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Was it the quarterfinals?
it was the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it was.
That was when knocking my team out really hurt me. Like
Wow.
I felt the pain. I felt everything. I think I missed a penalty in that one. Yeah, I missed the penalty. So I felt like I was one of the reasons why.
Yeah. You felt responsible
Yeah,
for
I
the
felt
loss.
responsible for the team. So I think I wept.
What?
Yes, that was the first time I really felt really bad.
So Ima wept.
Yeah, actually,
Ima wept.
Emma wept. Emmanuel wept. So yeah, that was where I had my. And you know anything that will make you weep,
Yeah.
you know, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
It means
Got
a lot
deep
to
into you.
It was
Yeah,
very
got
deep.
to you.
You know, so you can imagine Adamu Yola football competition making me to cry. You understand? I can't remember the last time I had something hurt me so bad that I had to drop a tear. You understand?
Wow.
But that tournament made me do that. But over time, I got over it, and my teammate cheered me up, and it was.
Is there any reason why you move from these different three clubs, or you feel okay at the end of this competition you feel like okay, I'll need to move to another club after this competition?
Yeah, actually, the main reason why I moved because I'm a person who loves victory, who loves winning,
new challenges.
yeah, who loves new challenges and all of that. So when I'm in a certain environment and I don't feel like this team are going to challenge enough, you understand, or I don't feel as challenge I should feel, I tend to move. So first it was Barcelona. I think I played with them for even before the Adamu Yola. I played some other competition for them.
Okay.
So I decided to move to Aston because as at then there was a split in the Barcelona Kaltungo team. So they splitted into two. Yeah, some moved to Aston and some moved to the other team. I think it was Flash Kaltungo.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I decided to join the Aston. So that was where I had the second spell. And then that spell was also, I think, for 2 seasons.
You played in different competitions with
different competition with the team. So it was, I think we didn't win anyone as well. So I didn't feel like there was this spirit of winning mentality in the team as well. So I decided to move to Oscar. So Oscar didn't give me as much as I wanted and all of that.
So wait, Ahmed, before
he wants to hear something, but
you're not going to say
No.
yes.
Now the issue is this your movement, all this movement, does it involve transfer to the different clubs, or you just feel like okay, I'm moving? Just as you talked about, you discussed with your agent, okay, I'm moving to this club, or
It's
just wake up and tell the club,
willing something.
I'm not playing for you again, I'm moving to this
Just
club.
feel like I don't want to play for here again.
Actually, is a transfer thing, and you know how our transfers here happen. So first, I will have to get a call from the team I'm moving to. Okay, we like your game, we want you to play for us and all of that, and then there will be a negotiation as to
you understand
the
objectives of the
what
club.
the team mentality is. You understand the kind of players they have. So once there is agreement on my part and on my agent part and the team's part, so he talks to me, and if I'm interested about the move and I want to move.
What attracts you to a team?
First, what attracts me to a team is their records.
Yeah.
You understand their records?
Previous
records. How well have they gone? How well have they done? And then secondly, the players they have already.
Now, talking about
Nobody wants to go to a place where you won't find competition. You understand? You would see that you're the best player there. You understand? If it must be that you're the best player there, it should be that you're always winning. You can't be in the best player in the team where you don't win anything. So you should tell yourself to move. So that's what attracts me. First, their history. Second, the players they have in the team, and the management.
Okay, talking about records, I'm sorry to cut in, but then it's something that caught my attention. Talking about records, is it the records of only their participation in the Adamu Yola competition?
No, it's not.
Or other tournaments that you've seen them play and how they've played? That's one. Two, is how do you manage to adapt to the style of play of these different teams every year? Now you've played like this in this year, the next year you have to play like this again for this for another team. How do you manage to adapt within a short period of time?
Okay, it's I need you to also remember that it's not only Adamu Yola competitions that I held there, you understand? So, but like for instance, joining Oscar was because their record showed that they had gone to the finals.
Yeah, they were in the finals of the
yeah, they were in the finals and they lost. Okay. So that prompted me and made me feel like, okay, there is possibility that they can still do that. Yeah. And then coupled with the number of players I was told that were in the team already. So I felt, okay, let's do this. We can try to put our hands together and see if we can do that again. If not win the trophy, at least go to the finals. You understand? So that was how the Oscar thing came. And then you just have to look for everything have their own philosophy and their style of play. You understand? So before then, they will tell you, okay, this is it, and the kind of players they have will give you a hint of how they play. Yeah. Because we mostly know ourselves, you understand? So if I know this person is a ball juggler, is a ball holder, and they have so I should know that they are more of, they hold on to the ball in their feet rather than those teams that run, you understand? So I try to look at those things, and then definitely before the tournament we'll play some friendly matches, and we'll probably have played other tournaments before the Adamu Yola. Of course, the Adamu Yola is the biggest. It's the biggest stage that everybody wants to play. You understand? So we must have played other tournaments, and then during those friendly matches I play, I get to adapt to the team. That's how it goes.
Okay, looking at the coaches that you've had in those 3 different clubs, and the dressing room, let me use that word, then other players, your relationship with both the coaching crew and other players, which of those teams do you think gave you that comfortability that made you felt like, yeah, this place is like a home for me, that I can stay? Which of them do you think gave you that feeling more?
Honestly, where I felt happy most, during this my participation in all of these tournaments was playing for Barcelona Kaltungo. Okay, so it was an amazing experience because the management always made sure I was fine, from taking care of my kids, you understand. They make sure I have good boots, they make sure I have good jerseys, and they make sure transportation was not an issue for me because I'm based in Gombe. So traveling there, they make sure they take care of my transport, they make sure they take care of my feeding as well, you understand. When I say transport, I mean to and fro, you understand. They take care of that more. And then at the end of the day, besides the transport, let's say if the transport is 3,000, they can give me 5,000 and say, take, just go home. I myself know that the transport is 3,000, but the extra 2K is just for them to say thank you. So I felt more appreciated when I was in Barcelona. But unfortunately, I had to leave because there were issues.
And you needed another challenge.
Yes, I needed another challenge actually. Besides the issues, I was already thinking of moving, and then the issue came. So I was like, glory. You understand? So yeah, so that was it actually.
So you had to move.
Yeah, I did move.
Okay, we are looking into the 8th edition, and you've already made it clear in the beginning that you are looking to play for another club.
I didn't say that.
Okay, but
he said there is possibility of moving, but he's not saying he has moved.
I said there is something in the pipeline.
There is something in the pipeline.
Yes.
Which means you will still be playing in the 8th edition.
Yes.
Okay. Now, going into the 8th edition, like, what is your plan? Like, what do you have in mind? What do you want to achieve as far as the tournament is concerned?
That's on an individual level.
On an individual level, even if you are going to play for another club, what do you foresee for yourself going into?
Okay, one of the most important things for any footballer is to win trophies. You understand?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win trophies. No,
nobody wants to retire and feel like there's no medal in his cabinet.
Yes, No, I think one of the most important thing for every footballer is the money attached to it.
Okay.
You understand? For every footballer wants to get
I think
be
that,
well
that,
taken
that,
care of.
that is footballers of the 21st century actually.
Yes.
There is passion and love for the
For the
game,
but then
you need to be taken care of.
Of course. You cannot play this game if you're not well taken care of.
Yeah,
You cannot play this game
That's
if
true.
you're not well paid. Truth be told, no matter how you want to sugarcoat it,
Yeah.
even the players of then would have wished that they
are
are
playing
playing
this
now
moment
because of the
amount of money.
the benefits they get from it. You understand?
Yeah.
So truth be told, the first thing first, I want to make sure I'm well taken care of to enable me play well and then to win trophies. You understand? So my target for this forthcoming edition is to play as far as to the finals and win the finals.
Now you have played for 3 clubs from Kaltungo local government. I'm from Kaltungo local.
That's the unity we're talking about. I'm not from Kaltungo.
But you're
local
from
government.
Gombe South.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
from Gombe South. You understand? So
That's good.
Yes.
But looking at the entire competition now, everything now is just like, okay, the cycle was just broken by Balanga local government in the 6th or 5th edition. In the 6th edition, whereby they won the 6th edition, and that was their first year of participation. They won it. Now, clubs from Biliri and Shongom haven't had a taste of the trophy yet. But Biliri went nearly last
Very
year.
close.
Last 2 years, Barry City was there. Last year, Compta United were there. So now, do you think Ahmed Shongom should come into the picture and say, okay, we can be part of the big boys as well?
there is one thing about the Adamu Yola Unity competition. It doesn't even really matter which local
government is winning.
That's just one thing. Now, for the fact that a defending champion, or let me say, teams
got
that
knocked
played
out in the preliminary
semi-final,
stages.
got knocked out in the group stages was shocking for me. Now it now gives me an idea that okay, this competition is not just child's play, and it doesn't mean that because you've won it previously, it doesn't give you a guarantee.
Boys know they look face for this
They
competition.
need a look face. It doesn't give you a guarantee that okay, going into the next going into the next round, going into the next competition, you are still going to make waves. No, these fresh boys, there are younger generations that are hungry. They are hungry to show themselves, to prove to people that we have what it takes and we really want to participate. That is what is happening in that competition. So irrespective of the local government you come from, winning the competition, I don't think is about
which local government is winning.
Local government. No, it's about what you can do on the field of play. And I give kudos to the LOC. They have been very, very central in everything in their dealings, and they have kept a clean sheet. Let me use that word. They've kept a clean sheet in the sense that after the tournament, you don't get to hear people saying that the LOC no favor us, the LOC did this or the LOC. No, they have been very fair, and I hope they will keep that momentum and at least a step up if possible.
Ahmed, there is actually something that just came into my mind. We've been talking about unity among all the clubs and participating teams across the 4 local governments. However, I will be very glad to see maybe some individuals, private persons, maybe even agencies coming to say, okay, we are from, let me say, Balanga local government, and we are going to kit all teams from Balanga local government. Or maybe the local government chairman say, okay, we are going to kit all the teams from Balanga local government.
It will go a long way.
It will go a long way. Or let's say, okay, we have a local government bus. We are giving you this bus for transportation. Every team that has a match today should use this bus and travel for its match. I think this will go a long way in helping these teams in order to at least ease some of the financial burden on these teams.
It's going to feel a source of motivation.
Yeah, it will surprise you to know that most of these teams had to go for labor to sponsor themselves, to get vehicles that will convey them to their match venues on several occasions. So I think if local government chairmen and other stakeholders in the local government can at least support these teams, it will go a long way in helping them. And we had a scenario whereby a team is saying they don't have transportation, that is why they will not honor their match. And that is not an excuse for you not to honor a match. Because nobody will understand that. It is assumed that before you register for a competition, you have made preparation for all this. You understand? So I think this will go a long way in helping these teams. In as much as these teams are trying their best, they need a little push from their various local governments as well. So I think, Ahmed, if we are looking at, just briefly before we wrap up, if we are looking at the 8th edition, what are the things you feel the committee should do that will help in ensuring that this 8th edition is successful? Just briefly. Yeah.
Oof. If there is one thing the committee is good with, is branding. I think that they have a lot of strengths when
just briefly
come to branding.
Yeah.
Then if there's anything they should work on, he made mention of something this morning that facilities. I think, and it's not within their power to do that.
Yeah.
The facilities are just the only issue.
Yeah, I think that is some of the places that the local government can
And
come
come
as well.
in and assist
Yeah.
the local organizing committee. But apart from that, the officiating is fair. They have good branding. Their merchandising is okay. They have prize and reward for these teams that are playing.
Yeah.
Come on, we are good to go. Except if they want to upgrade it.
Yeah. From your side, Ima, as a player, what do you think the committee can do in order to make things right?
Okay. For me personally, I was there at the same field from the Kaltungo region. Yeah. I think like I said, we were there to play a friendly match.
Okay.
The field was nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
It was in a very bad condition. In fact, I could not play, to be honest. I wasn't myself in that place. You can imagine playing and being conscious of where you are stepping on. You understand?
Sure.
An ankle injury can take you 3 months or 4 months to.
But if you're not careful, your career is off.
If you're not careful. So, playing that match was me playing with, I was doing extra work. If I'm running, I'm thinking of where to put the ball, where to put my leg. You understand what to dodge and what not to dodge. You understand? So it was very difficult for me playing. In fact, I was subbed off during the game, and that was as a result of the pitch. You had stones, you had
erosions,
ridges, erosions and all of that. So I think if this is something the local government should do, you understand? Yeah. But for the nature and virtue of the fact that Adamu Yola really needs these pitches to, function well, in order to also protect players, they should do well to make sure all the pitches they'll be using are in good condition. That's the most important thing for me. I feel they're doing well in every other aspect, and they did well on the pitch aspect.
Yeah, almost every year they get to fix the pitches.
Yeah, they get to fix the pitch. So, but this time around, they should make sure they do that because the pitch is worse than it used to be. Yes.
That's thank you very much, guys. That was a very wonderful time I had with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed our time here.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you too that has been watching us had a very good time, and you were enlightened on some of the activities of the Adamu Yola Gombe South Unity Cup. Join us in the next episode because there will be more to talk about. That is where we wrap it up for today. Join us in the next edition.